Okay, this is Andrew. This is going to be an important set of videos. I'm doing two videos here. They should be pretty short. I'm going to keep it short, but this is going to tell you exactly how you need to organize your files and post your files on the web page according to City U University requirements in order to keep the university's accreditation, engineering accreditation. I actually just was interviewed by the engineering board. I did promise them that we're going to be submitting the web pages to this server, so this is pretty much the way you have to do it. Okay, so basically you have to understand that there's two different worlds, right? There's the XAMPP world, which you download it onto your machine, and it's like a local server. And then there's the CityU web server that makes that page, publishes that page to the web, and anybody in the world can see it. So basically, you have to take what you do here on the XAMPP and put it over here. So the way we're going to do this, at least starting out, we might change it later, but you have a home file, which is, this is your name, right? Your name. Okay. And then under that, you're going to have project 1. You can just call it P1. And then under that, you're going to have project 2. And guess what? You can call that P2. And under that, you can have project 3. And you can call that P3. And on down the line. Alright, so basically, let me try this guy. You need a link that goes from, that's not good. Alright, we'll go back here. You need a link that goes from your home. This is your home. Your home folder to project 1, and then you need one that's going to go to project 2, and then you need one that goes to project 3. Now also, I'll go ahead and draw that in. So you're going to need a link that goes to project 3. So basically, this is your home page, and there's a home folder that goes with this home page, and the code will be in there. And when you click on that link, you can choose a link to go to any of your projects, projects 1, project 2, project 3. And then when you get in the project, you can click the link and come back to home. But also, you want to be able to go from project 1 to project 2, from project 2 to project 3, and from project 3 to project 1. Okay, so you get the idea. Everything is able to reach everything. So then, after all this, you want to copy it and FTP it to the university's web server, right? And then it's published, and anybody anywhere can see it. All right, so let's take a look at one way to do that. And Brian Costa completed his project, and he's given us permission to use some of his HTML code here. So the good news for the class is I took his code and modified it to do exactly what we were just discussed in this pane in here. He did do a CSS, but I'm not going to show you the CSS code, but I will show you some of the HTML code, at least as you need. So this means that the structure has already been pretty much completed for you. The structure of the projects and the web page and a lot of the HTML has been done. Although you may want to change it, and this is not, like I said, not exactly what Brian submitted, so I'm not saying that it is. I've changed it some, so don't be offended if it's not as good as it was there, Brian. All right, so here we go. So let's go to the home page. So if you look at this folder here, you can see everything from Andrew to the left is localhost, right? So under Andrew, I have a folder that's project 1, and then I have some files. So these files, CityU.jpg is in here, home.php is in here, and style.css is in here. Now when I go into project 1 folder, film scores JSON and test p1.php are in here. And there's also a folder link that goes to the folder p2. So I hope you understand that structure. Probably many of you have seen that before many times. So, but just to make sure everyone's clear. All right, so let's go ahead and open localhost Andrew home.php, okay? Localhost Andrew home.php. Okay, so we get something here. Let's take a look at the code. All right, here's a home.php. Now you see here something here is commented out, so don't look at that at this moment. Basically, you should know how to do this, the header, the body, and then here we're having a class that gives us the links, okay? So basically, this is these links, and it's just copied to each page. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a moment. So my image is coming from Andrew folder, and it's the CityU.jpg file. So let's take a look at that. Andrew folder. There's the picture right there. That's where that's coming from. Okay, then I do a header, which says select a project from the page links, and then we do after that we do Andrew home. So right here is home, and after that we do project 1. That's right here. So this is what's printed out: project 1, project 2, project 3, and this is the link to where it is. And I hope that makes sense if you go back and look at this. So you can see here's your folder with your name, and then here's P1, here's P2, and here's P3. And then if you go back here, you can see, just remember this, you're not in P1, you're in Andrew, and then this is the, so if you're here, don't get confused, you're in P1, and these are the files in P1. You're not in P2, okay? I'm sure you all know that, but just to make sure it's clear. Okay, so great. Yeah, that's the main page, and then down here I'm saying include some of your favorite links, some more images, links to anything. Add links as you go throughout the course to anything that's helping you with the PHP. Other students can come to your page and look at it. That'll help them out, and their page may be able to help you out as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and zip on over. We're going to skip project 1 for right now. Let's look at project 2. Okay, project 2 is not started. Select a project from the page links, right? So let's go ahead and look at project 2. Basically, you just copy this, right? You just copy this and paste it over here in 2. It's the same thing. Now, you could make a function maybe that could do that if you want. But anyway, go ahead and come over here, paste that in, and then let's go look at project 3. It's the same thing, okay? So go to project 3, you paste it in there, it's the same thing. All right, so now let's go to project 1. And sorry if I did change this some, Brian, so his looked a little better, but I've had to change it a little to get everything working here. So anyway, you can see he did the JSON files. He did the links. Everything's good here. Good job. All right. So let's go back to home and let's take a quick look at the code here. It's the same thing with the links, and then the PHP is down here, which you can't look at it. Okay, so this is the way I want you to do the structure. There are better ways and easier ways to do it, and you can do functions, but there's more ways to do this. But for now, this is the way we're gonna do it so that you can understand what's going on. Okay, so just a quick thing here is if you see, it doesn't matter which page I'm on, 2 or 3, I'm calling, when you click, this is calling the JPEG from, it's calling it in this folder even though I'm down in the P3 folder or the P2 folder. See there? The CityU. So I'm just going back to the Andrew folder, the CityU file, CityU JPEG file. Okay, so I hope that gives you an idea of how you can, even though this CityU JPEG is not in P3, P3 can still call it, all right? Just by looking in that folder, looking in the Andrew folder, and then opening the file. So it opens the picture even on the P3 page, see? All right, so you can do the same thing with CSS, all right? You can have one CSS file here, and you can see you could call it from, you could call the style sheet from any other page. Just look in the Andrew and then style.css. That would open this one, but we're actually using the local host Andrew style.css. Yes, that's correct. So that'll open this one, and that's why you're seeing when you click on project 1, that's why you're seeing this. That's the CSS, okay? So I understand that here's project 2. No CSS is being called from project 2, right? Project 2. See where it's being called right here? Got it? You can see that under P2, there's no CSS being called. Now, if I copied this, well, let's go ahead and do it. If I copy this same line here, and I go to 2, and I paste it in, and save it, then you should be able to go to 2 here, and you get the CSS, right? So that's actually Brian's CSS. I'm not showing you his code, but just to get an idea of how the CSS works. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out now. Save that. And we'll go back to link 2. Okay. So you see how you're supposed to add a .css file, style file to your code using an external document like we just did. Okay, so do everything when you create your projects, do it like this on XAMPP. So if you're working on project 3, you know, be in here and you want to do your project here. Now you can also have functions that this program calls, right? So you can have functions in here that this program is calling that you've created, and we'll look into that later. Okay, so with that, I'm going to end this video, And please watch the next one. It's important. I'm going to show you how you put your web pages up on the web server. All right, thanks.